All right, welcome in Thursday night. How about this? We have some good 49ers quarterback news for a change. I know we've had some bad 49ers quarterback news coming in droves over the course of the last several months, and it all hit a crescendo there, or a low light, with the NFC Championship game on January 29th at Philadelphia when the 49ers ran out of healthy quarterbacks. Since then, hasn't gotten much better. Trey Lance said shortly after that game that he expects to be fully cleared by the end of this month. He retracted that statement before the Super Bowl on Rich Eisen's show, saying that he misspoke. And then Brock Purdy has not yet undergone surgery. Surgery actually got pushed back. It was supposed to be yesterday, Wednesday. Still too much swelling in the elbow. Got pushed back. Too much swelling. Not good news. So the parade of bad 49ers quarterback news kept on rolling on, but I would say that this piece of information from Trey Lance's social media, from his Instagram story, is good news. Trey Lance said on Rich Eisen's show before the Super Bowl that even though he wouldn't be fully cleared, he was planning to begin throwing this coming weekend, the last weekend of February. Full throwing, full running. Not full clearance, but throwing and running. And according to Trey Lance's Instagram post, which a few hours ago said that he needs a few college receivers tomorrow in the South Bay, it seems that he is indeed on track to begin throwing this weekend. So normally you wouldn't make too big of a deal out of something like this, but we've seen a lot of cancellations, a lot of delays in that 49ers quarterback room as far as recoveries from injury. You could stretch back even before January 29th when everybody got hurt. And you saw Trey Lance need that second surgery around New Year's to get the screw or the whatever device it was out of his ankle. It's been a lot of setbacks. It's been a lot of just a drag for the 49ers quarterback. So the fact that Trey Lance does seem set to begin throwing tomorrow on that schedule this weekend is a good sign for the San Francisco 49ers. Trey Lance remains on track to begin throwing this weekend. The evidence for you is right there from Trey Lance's Instagram channel. But just consider the absurdity of health, or lack thereof, that the 49ers have dealt with at their quarterback position over the course of not just the past couple weeks, but really over the course of the entire Shanahan era. Look, I could put this big on the screen really quickly and find the 49ers health situation at quarterback that will absolutely blow your mind. We could take a look at the health record of 49ers QBs since 2017 when Kyle Shanahan came. And it is not a good one. I have to go back to an old piece on The Athletic for this, and it's not that old of a piece. This is just something that we wrote before our State of the 49ers series. That ended today with the State of the QB piece. We'll showcase that in a little moment. But right here, wasn't in the cards, the 49ers QB misery. So I wrote this on February 3rd, start of this month, 20 days ago. Take a look at this. These are the QB injuries for the 49ers since 2017. This is the whole chart of them. That is absolutely absurd. I mean, you're probably zooming in, reading all of these. It's every single injury that's caused the quarterback to miss time, knocked out of a game, missed time since Kyle Shanahan took over. Obviously, the most in the league. And this is just a prelude to this offseason where we've seen setbacks again for the 49ers. Setbacks last offseason. Obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo had to have a surgery after he initially thought that he wouldn't have a surgery. That actually ended up helping the 49ers because it scuttled the trade market, and he came back and boosted them this season. But, I mean, when so many bad breaks happen, I think that luck dictates, chances dictate that some of them are going to, at least one of them is going to work out in your favor, as it did with Garoppolo. But this is an absurdly long list. Go to today's piece. This is Trey Lance's news today. But from today's piece, we have the 49ers quarterback performance under Kyle Shanahan. And especially the top is relevant because it shows you where Trey Lance was last season. Trey Lance had a lot of red last season. Not good. That's something that the 49ers need to change. A lot of red in the row for Trey Lance bad adjusted net yards per attempt, bad DVOA, bad EPA per game, terrible success rate. Okay, as far as avoiding the giveaways, bad completion percentage over expectation. Now, you might say small sample size in a monsoon. Yeah, I actually did say that. But go back to 2021. Yes, he's better on some of the efficiency metrics, but worse or the same in success rate. And the completion percentage over expectation, also not good for Trey Lance. But speaking of good, bad, the good news is right here. The 49ers do like to see that Trey Lance might indeed be throwing this weekend. And I think it is actually really trending toward that. This was the original plan for Trey Lance to be back and throwing this weekend. And it does appear that he is on track for just that. So you need some receivers in the South Bay, San Jose tomorrow. That means that finally the 49ers aren't dealing with a setback and recovery time at the quarterback position. And that, of course, is good news for them. All right, let's answer a few questions here on this beautiful Thursday night. I just got back from a wine event here in Nashville, nice little dinner. Tony Lombardi has a winery up in Petaluma, big 49ers fan. He actually shared some amazing pictures with me. Actually, maybe I could put one of these up here on the YouTube channel. Okay, yes. Tony Lombardi did share some amazing pictures with me from training camp in Rockland, California, 49ers training camp in Rockland, California, circa 1985. If these will load right now while I'm online, I'm going to share them. If they don't load while I'm online, I'll share them on the next show. But he had himself a nice SLR camera back in 1985 in Rockland, Sacramento suburb. And back in those days, that was at Sierra College, where Brandon Ayuk actually played JC ball. But at Sierra College, there wasn't a lot of security. This is the NFL 1985. They're not training at their facility. Fans could just kind of walk on campus, hang out, and by the end of the day, you'd get pictures with Joe Montana. You'd be right up there in the thick of action. And these were the two-time Super Bowl champion 49ers already, coming off of a Super Bowl, defending champs in 1985. So Tony runs that winery up in Petaluma. No relation to me, only by name. He was out here in Nashville. He's been out here all week. I haven't been out here all week. I was in the Bay Area for a couple days, but he's been out here sampling some of his wines, his really good Pinot Lombardi wines. And today we talked a lot about the 49ers at this one dinner event. Everywhere I go, it's crazy. 49ers fans, everywhere I go, you're talking about, and I'm talking out here in Nashville. A lot of the winemakers that come out here, obviously from the Bay Area, so they're going to be 49ers fans. But even the people from here, really curious about the teams. They obviously have a lot of questions. It is one of the most intriguing teams, if not the most intriguing team in all of football. These Montana pictures, unfortunately, are not loading right now, so we're going to have to get to them a little bit later. But anyway, let's move to your questions here and answer anything that we can. Anyway, as background, this is the piece from today. Make sure you check it out. I put the link in the comments section and in the chat section, and I'll do that one more time. State of the 49ers quarterback position. You could see the performance from year to year. All right, I'm ready to answer some of your good questions. Let's make them good, and then we'll get going. Will I go get some footage of his throws? No, I'm not going to be out there tomorrow. I don't even know where Trey is meeting up with his receivers. I don't think that he wants any media on his throws at this point, this early in the recovery process. You're upset that I don't have the beard? Well, the beard can come back. Sometimes, you just want to go. It's not clean shaven. It's sandpaper right now. Got a little bit. I got the trimmer out. Went pretty short with it, but beards grow back. It's all good. I was just looking at a picture where the beard was very, very robust from back right when training camp started. It was actually wild. I don't know how I stumbled across it, but got to find this if I could get it for you guys, because this was something else. You don't realize how long the beard gets until you see a picture of it at its peak. And I think that was right around training camp last year. I think I actually went a little bit shorter during the course of the season. I wish I had gotten this ready before the show. I didn't know I'd have comments about this, but okay, here we found it. This is jarring stuff. This is the studio in San Mateo that I was operating out of, Jack's studio in training camp. Are you guys ready for this? There we go. That was a much longer beard than the one we see right now. You can see it side by side. I look different. I look younger all of a sudden. This brings us back to the old days, early days of the channel. So I also like that cream blazer. We're probably gonna have to bring it back for training camp. I think it's in the closet over here, actually, with the blue shirt with the clean blazer. Good stuff. But yeah, beard gone for now, but beards grow back, and this one grows back actually quickly. So we will be okay. Let me just keep this up on the screen. I want to turn on my monitor so I could more easily see everybody's questions. I think I'm plugged in here to the HDMI, and as soon as this officially does start working and we get up on the monitor, I'll be able to run this Q&A a lot more efficiently. There we go. Monitor's on. Monitor's on. We are good to go. There, good. Now I can see the questions a lot easier because they're a little bit higher up on here. All right, so you can let me know if you like the beard. Good, vote for the beard in the comment section, but for now, it obviously is not present. Most likely starting quarterback right now is Trey Lance because he's the first that's going to be healthy. We don't know Brock Purdy's injury situation, and it's tiresome to keep on speculating about it because even the best UCL repair expert in the USA, Keith Meister, is going to be operating on Brock Purdy, has yet to operate on him, and he needs to operate on him so that he knows, so that everybody knows what kind of timeline Brock Purdy is going to face. We don't know that with any certainty. So most likely, if you had to put odds on it at this very moment, would be Trey Lance. The coaching staff is not yet set. At least it hasn't been announced. We're going to wait to see if the 49ers announce it before the combine. I thought they would. It might be a Friday news dump, so we'll see what they say tomorrow. I'll keep my eyes on that. And as soon as it happens, there's going to be a show about it right here on the channel. So be sure to tune in. Yes, Lance will be ready for OTAs. The fact that he's actually following through and throwing tomorrow, according to, where is it? This right here. That's big. He needs receivers tomorrow. That means he's on track to be throwing, dropping back, running. That's what he said was going to be the case on Rich Eisen's show. That should put Lance on track to be ready for OTAs. Well, Al Davis, funny name. Do you think that Trey can improve his mechanics to be more accurate before the season? He has to. I mean, here, this should illustrate it really, really starkly. This is ugly. Look at the Lance 2022 lines. I'll zoom in on them. Red is bad. Look how bad the completion percentage over expectation is. Minus 17.3. You don't see numbers that bad. But it was that bad. He was extremely inaccurate. Yes, it was a monsoon game that dominated the sample size. But even in 2021, right here, Lance was inaccurate. Then I could go back to Lance's training camp performance. And, I logged all of that. Why don't we find that? Why don't we go 49ers quarterbacks at 2022 training camp? And let's see what Lance's completion percentage was, because I can guarantee you it wasn't good. All right, here you go. Here's the charting. Trey Lance is on the left. You can see what he did every day. Then I have the cumulative numbers here on the left. Lance is a 54.7% passer at training camp. Sudfeld was 74. Purdy was 70%. Now, don't get me started with, he was facing the first team defense. I was there every single day. There were days when Lance was great, and there were days when he couldn't hit the broadside of the barn with his throws. And the problem was that he was inconsistent with his mechanics. The looping release, the footwork, not great. I mean, the 49ers knew all this stuff when they picked him because he had so little playing experience at a lower college level. It wasn't like Purdy was a 4-year starter. But they saw the good and the potential good. They saw him do stuff right occasionally, and then the next day would do it wrong. Kyle Shanahan, though, believed in the brain power of Trey Lance and the athleticism of Trey Lance. And the goal was, okay, let's make sure that this guy develops under us. I can program him into the type of quarterback I need him to be. But to do that, Trey Lance has to become more consistent with the mechanics. Now, the question here from Al Davis is, can he do that this offseason? I think partially he can do it. I don't think he can fully do it until he sees actual time on an NFL game field, though. So a lot of this is back to square one, where we were last year. Lance has to develop and prove himself on the field with the support of a good 49ers roster. Well, if he ends up starting week one, that same journey is going to have to happen. He can make some progress in the offseason, but you actually have to play games to make the real progress. What do I think about the running back depth after Christian McCaffrey? Love Jordan Mason, over 4 yards after contact per carry last year. That's monstrous. Yes, small sample size, but I think folks were happy with what he did in that small sample size. He's not going to be a rookie anymore. Workload should grow. Elijah Mitchell, you have to love the skill set. They call him Drano. We can always find that empty hole. You have to hate the injury proclivity that we've seen so far from Elijah Mitchell. Ty Davis Price, probably better than people realize, just because he was stuck behind a lot of good running backs in a deep running back room last year. Remember, they had Jeff Wilson before they traded him away. So the running back depth is good. It's a whole lot better than it was for the 49ers in the past. And, speaking of that, let's go here. This is the 49ers state of the QB room piece. We did an 8-part series, Matt Barrows and I. You can go access this 8-part series right here. This is the homepage that will get you everywhere on the 8-part series. I'm putting and copying the State of the 49ers 8-part series hyperlink into the chat section. We go through every position. So Jay here asks about the running backs. So go to the State of the 49ers running back edition. Check out what we think of the depth. Check out the stats supporting how good the depth is. Some blue in yards after contact per attempt. Mason, Deebo Samuel, Kyle Juszczyk did well against fullbacks. You take a look elsewhere. Ty Davis Price, he was okay, but a little bit below average, but only 34 carries. I wouldn't look at the yards per carry for Ty Davis Price and be all that worried, though. 2.9, that's not good, but it seems that he didn't have the most opportune running situations. He was running hard and running well against the Seahawks in week 2, but suffered the high ankle sprain in that game. Brandon Hill thinks the 49ers should see if Mitchell has any trade value. Good back, hasn't been able to stay healthy. It depends on what the 49ers think of his future prospects in that regard. Predictions for what team Jimmy Garoppolo will end up on. Well, the 49ers can't be ruled out while Brock Purdy's status is in such limbo. I only semi-kid, but I have to bring that up at least partially because last year everybody was ruling it out, including Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. And then he ended up coming back to the 49ers. Now, last year there were extenuating circumstances, which is why I say that I kid. The New York Jets, right? You look at that and you're like, ooh, this might make sense as a really good fit for Jimmy Garoppolo. Robert Saleh's there. He's familiar with his game. The Jets are a quarterback away from at least being competitive. They weren't competitive with Zach Wilson. I think that New York media market, same market as Joe Namath, who played for the Jets, could be good for Jimmy Garoppolo. It's a possibility. But at this point, I think this is going to be the most active offseason of quarterback musical chairs that we have ever seen. And that's where I'll leave it for this prediction. Purdy was really good as a starter. That being said, we don't know if he's going to be able to start, at least at the beginning of this next season. So the 49ers better get those contingency plans ready. With the draft coming up soon, what positions do you see the front office focusing on in pending free agency? Defensive tackle, defensive end, offensive line. I don't think they're going to be as big on the skills because I think they're really good at the skill positions. I made a video about Bobby Wagner a little bit earlier. I don't see how he fits into the 49ers' larger cost structure, although Warner, Greenlaw, Wagner would be a monstrous trio of linebackers. You don't see a trio of linebackers on the field at the same time all too often anymore because you obviously have the nickel package. And the nickel package is bring in that nickel back and take off a linebacker. And the 49ers have the best duo on the game right now between Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. Dr. 650 thinks the 49ers only need the trenches. And, you know, on a certain level, I tend to agree. They're really good at the skills. They obviously need quarterback help too. But as far as building through free agency and the draft, the trenches are where they were a little bit deficient, especially toward the end of this last season. Can I ask Lance to slide instead of going head first? Will do. If he Purdy does have a delay, does he miss a step? Well, I don't know how I can answer this right now. We'll have to see if he misses a step if there's delay. I think any athlete, if they're out for an extended period of time, is going to miss a little bit of a step and then get it back. The question would be how quickly would Brock Purdy get it back? I think the 49ers draft only one quarterback. Maybe they sign two free agents at a cheaper rate. Who knows? But I don't think they draft two QBs. That'd be kind of crazy. Maybe they really like two QBs though, but I think they want to bring a vet into the room. I think they do both. I think they. My prediction is that they draft a vet and you can't draft a vet. That they draft a rookie and sign a vet that fits within the cost structure. Eric Gomes wants Hayner. I've already written an article, done a video. Hayner is obviously a very popular choice. Which cheap vet is it going to be? Well, we do know, and Matt Barrows and I reported this in 2021, that the 49ers were very interested in Andy Dalton. They ended up trading up to number 3 and going the Trey Lance route, but they've already been interested in Dalton before, and he could be an option this year. Well, the 49ers try to bring back the triple option again. Well, you want Trey Lance to become a proficient enough passer to where you don't need to have the triple option. But I think that as far as Lance and his ability to run, it might not be at the level of Jalen Hurts, but the 49ers still want to incorporate some creativity. Remember, they were running the ball quite well in weeks 1 and 2. Debo had his best Reggie Bush cutback run in week 2. Lance's threat to run, those legs, they were doing some stuff for the ground game of that offense. He, in limited time, did not settle in as a passer, though, and that's what the 49ers will need more of moving forward. I did a whole video on this a little bit earlier. I think it's only worth it to go after Bobby Wagner if he is willing to come at a big-time discount at age 33 to try to win a Super Bowl with the 49ers. I mean, anything is possible in the NFL. Nelson asking if the 49ers can circle back and sign Jimmy Garoppolo, but you have to consider the perfect storm of events that it took to get to that point last season. And this year, Jimmy is not entering the offseason needing a surgery. Last year, he ultimately needed the surgery. That scared teams off. That made him available for a cheaper price to the 49ers. Is that going to happen this year? I don't know. Probably not, though, right? All right, everybody, thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun. We have good 49ers news for a change. That good 49ers news is that Trey Lance remains on track to resume throwing this weekend. He made a call out on Instagram. He needs a few college receivers tomorrow in the South Bay and San Jose. So that's good for Trey Lance because the other 49ers quarterback news has not been good as of late. As of late, we've gotten a lot of delays. We've gotten, obviously, the terrible news of the injuries in Philadelphia. More before then that made the 49ers exhaust their quarterback depth. It's to the point where you just have to consider how absurd the 49ers struggles have been. Oh, my God, I just put up the picture of me with my beard. That was a total accident. I'm looking for something else. I'm shuffling through. There it is. This is the absurdity of the health situation. These are all the 49ers quarterback injuries under Kyle Shanahan. So the recent bad news is just the snowball effect on top of all these injuries that have happened. And finally, good news comes in the form of this: Trey Lance needing receivers because he is planning to throw tomorrow. All right, everybody, thank you for joining. Like the video, sub to the channel, and check out the state of the 49ers. Here's the quarterback piece, putting it up on your screen. And here is the 8-part series. That's also up on your screen. We cover every single position group for you of the 49ers. Look, I'm getting wedding advertisements. That's crazy. It's almost like I am going to be getting married. Wild. All right, everybody. Thank you. Take care. Have a good Thursday night. Midnight out here, 10 p.m. out on the West Coast. Get ready for the Lombardi 8 a.m. scramble tomorrow morning. Everybody take care. Thank you.